Lab Coats, Coach Borino with you, representing, wearing the colors of our sister group, Lab Coats Agents. It's here, Coach Borino. And there was an interesting post by Freddie Rodriguez here in Lab Coats who was asking about the situation he has with a listing. And I started typing the answer, but then I realized it's going to be kind of long. So might as well just record a video for you guys to give you some tips to help you in the situation. So let me show you what Freddie is writing. How would you address this, sellers? Property listed at $294. One offer after 140 days, one of the longest in the market, offer amount $260. I was expecting them to counter somewhere $275 to $280, as those are the numbers I spoke to them originally. Now the husband, hi IND, came out with a wonderful idea. Because the house next door sold for $279 about 2 years ago, it did have a pool, ours doesn't. Now the sellers want to net up $265, which would mean I would have to sell it close to the listing price. Any ideas how to educate them on the market? They are not in urgency to sell. That could be a factor. And a lot of good comments, a lot of good ideas and tips you guys posted to address Freddie's problem. And they're all good. They're all good tips. But there is one part that needs to be addressed first. And it's actually the last part of the comment that Freddie was talking about. And that's this. Any ideas how to educate them on the market? They are not in urgency to sell. That could be a factor. And that's the problem right there. That's the actual issue right there. It is the urgency. You heard me talk about it before. It's called the core driving emotion. And what that is sellers move only for two reasons. People move only for two reasons. Something that drives them out of the property, something that's painful, uncomfortable. This can be discomfort, safety, small house, noisy neighborhood, all kinds of things. Or something that's really pulling them to live somewhere else. That's that passion, excitement, prestige, a sense of comfort, whatever else. If they don't have either or both, you have a problem because you have a seller who lacks motivation. The intensity of this drive is the motivation that makes people do whatever they need to do to get to live somewhere else. Because it is not about listing the house, you already know that. It is not about selling the house. It is not about moving. It is about feeling better by living somewhere else. If that emotion is not strong enough, then the whole process of selling will be stalled by these actions and thoughts and things that they do to prevent them from completing whatever goals they set to do. Your job number one is find out what is it that they really want to do and why. And it is the why that is critical here for two reasons. Number one, you of course will know what the hell they're trying to do. And number two, they get clear. They will understand what they're trying to do. Very, very important. You cannot move, pass go, collect 200 until you know where they stand. And until you know where they stand. So everybody's on the same page. And you got to do this up front. The trouble is, if you're already in the process like Freddie is with these sellers, it becomes more challenging and difficult. It still can be done. A little heart to heart, very honest, which is the second tip I'm going to give you. Once you're clear, communicate clearly one of the most critical, most important things that the seller needs to understand, and that is this. Seller does not set the price. Sellers don't set the price. You, as a listing agent, don't set the price. Who sets the price? Who determines the value of a home? The buyer and the bank. The buyer, what is the most they're willing to pay? And the bank, what are they going to appraise it for? What is it worth in their opinion? That's it. Seller doesn't get to decide. Yes, they can counter, they can have a debate and a negotiation, but at the end it's going to come down to the buyer and the bank. And your job as a confident, high-status agent, a listing rock star, is to communicate that clearly, with respect, of course, with understanding and compassion, of course. But understanding by no uncertain terms that the seller doesn't pick the price. That it doesn't matter what the seller paid for it. Doesn't matter what they want on it for. Doesn't matter what the homes 2 years ago went for. None of that matters. What matters is only what is the most a buyer would be willing to pay. Not what the house is worth. Because there are two different things. Especially in the mind of the seller. The property may be worth $1 million. You know what I mean? But the real number is what is the buyer willing to pay? What is the most? So you, as a professional, need to be honest with them. They expect you to be honest. Today I did a broadcast we do every Tuesday on Rockstars. And one of the things I was talking about is, ask the seller, how honest do you want me to be with you? Do you want me to be a little bit honest? Or do you want me to be completely honest? And then be completely honest. But here's the thing. Many agents are not honest because they're afraid they're going to lose the listing. They're going to piss off the seller. They're going to say something inappropriate. They're going to get mad at them. I would get mad at my doctor if they didn't tell me the truth. My attorney, if my attorney's not 100% honest with me. My dentist, all these professionals that we pay. Be honest with your clients. Tell them when they stand. Now, number four, what are we? Point number four, right? It is not as much about educating them. They're not stupid people. The decisions they're making are not based on logic, because if it was based on logic, all you'd have to do is present them a very logical CMA saying, hey, here's where we are, these are the numbers. Logically, they would arrive at the same conclusion that any decent real estate agent or appraiser would based on the CMA, but that's not what's happening. Why is that? It is because they're not making logical, rational decisions. They think they are, but they're not. Their decision, going back to the point number one, is emotional. They're making an emotional decision based on emotion. And that emotion, clearly by their steps or lack thereof, is fear. They're scared shitless of something. You, again, as a master communicator, need to figure out what it is. And then the final thing I'm going to give you is what they're really questioning is not the comps. It's not that. What they're really questioning is, can they trust you? The issue is trust. Because if they trust you 100%, and if they respect you as the authority in this, which you clearly should be, then if you tell them this is where we are, they either do it or they don't. And if they have a strong core driving emotion, why wouldn't they? It would make sense. Are you with me on this? Does that make sense? Okay. So now, find out core driving emotion, connect with them, be compassionate, but clear. What is it they're trying to do? Determine the problem, figure out a solution, and then the final piece is this. If you determine that their core driving emotion is not there, or it's very low, that would be difficult. If you feel like they may be just better off staying where they are, you, as a pro, must be willing to walk. Because you're not doing them a service, and you're definitely not doing yourself a service by staying with a client who simply doesn't have a problem you cannot solve, and dragging their feet, not helping the buyer, not getting the house, the other agent who cannot get a good home, agent doesn't get paid. Nobody wins in a situation like that. You need to decide at the end what is the best course of action. And you do that by being honest, communicating, and not being attached to the outcome. Was it helpful, Freddie and everybody else? Hope you enjoyed it. Coach Borino signing off. I hope I get the chance to talk to you soon. Let's go get him. Bye, everybody.